Jerusalem was alive with the energy of Passover pilgrims. The city resonated with the sounds of merchants, children's laughter, and the faithful heading to the temple. It was a time of joy and deep reflection. Among them was Jesus, a beacon of hope and wisdom. His words were transformative. His touch brought healing. He moved through the crowds with a divine purpose, his presence radiating love and respect. He spoke of boundless love and endless forgiveness. His voice carried a message that touched the hearts of all who heard it. He taught that love was the greatest commandment and forgiveness was the key to true peace. His miracles filled the crowds with awe. They saw the blind regain sight, the lame walk, and the sick healed. Each miracle was a testament to his divine power and boundless compassion. He raised the dead and healed the sick. These acts were not just displays of power, but profound expressions of his love and mercy. They were signs of a new hope for humanity. People flocked to hear him. They came from all walks of life, drawn by the promise of his message. They sought answers, healing, and a glimpse of the divine. They hungered for his message of hope. In a world filled with turmoil and uncertainty, his words were a beacon of light. They offered a vision of a better, more compassionate world. His love knew no bounds. He welcomed the outcasts, comforted the sorrowful, and brought hope to the hopeless. His life was a testament to the power of unconditional love. Jesus challenged the religious leaders. He questioned their interpretations of the law and their practices. His teachings often put him at odds with those in power. They felt threatened by his growing popularity. His influence was undeniable, and it undermined their authority. They saw him as a danger to their established order. They plotted to silence him. In secret meetings, they devised plans to stop him. They believed that by removing him, they could restore their control. Little did they know, a greater plan was unfolding. Jesus was aware of their intentions, yet he remained steadfast. He knew his mission was far greater than their schemes. Jesus, fully aware of their intentions, continued to teach and love. His commitment to his message never wavered. He embraced his followers with compassion and understanding. One of Jesus' own disciples, Judas, betrayed him. This act of betrayal was not a sudden decision, but a culmination of growing discontent and greed within Judas's heart. Driven by greed, Judas accepted 30 pieces of silver. The weight of the coins in his hand symbolized the price of his loyalty and the beginning of his inner turmoil. He led the authorities to Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. Under the cover of night, Judas's betrayal was set into motion, a dark shadow over the serene garden. There Jesus prayed, knowing what was to come. His prayers were filled with sorrow, yet he accepted his fate with unwavering faith and strength. They bound him and took him away. The night was filled with tension as Jesus was led from the peaceful garden to face his destiny with courage. Jesus faced a series of trials. He was falsely accused. The religious leaders sought to find any reason to condemn him, twisting his words and actions. The religious leaders condemned him. Their anger and fear of his influence drove them to seek his death. Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor, found no fault in him. Despite his own judgment, he was caught in a political and social dilemma. Yet he bowed to the pressure of the crowd. The cries for crucifixion grew louder, and Pilate's resolve weakened. Pilate handed Jesus over to be crucified. The path to Golgotha began, marking the start of a journey that would change the course of history forever. Through it all, Jesus' strength and forgiveness shone brightly, inspiring countless generations. Jesus endured unimaginable suffering with unwavering courage. The soldiers mocked him. They placed a crown of thorns upon his head, yet he remained resolute. They forced him to carry his own cross, a symbol of his immense strength. He was nailed to the cross at a place called Golgotha, embracing his destiny. Even in his agony, Jesus showed boundless compassion. He prayed for those who crucified him, demonstrating his profound love. He said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing," embodying forgiveness. As darkness fell, Jesus cried out, "It is finished," and breathed his last, fulfilling his mission. He died for the sins of the world, leaving an everlasting impact on humanity. Jesus' followers were heartbroken. They had placed all their hopes and dreams in him, believing he was the Messiah who would save them. His death left them in utter despair, feeling lost and abandoned. They laid his body in a tomb, a place of final rest. The tomb was carved out of rock, a solemn and silent witness to their grief. A large stone sealed the entrance, a heavy barrier that seemed to mark the end of their hopes. It was a symbol of finality, a grim reminder that Jesus was truly gone. But on the third day, something miraculous happened. As the first light of dawn broke, the earth seemed to hold its breath in anticipation. An angel rolled away the stone. The tomb was empty. Jesus was alive. The impossible had happened, and hope was reborn. The resurrected Jesus appeared to his disciples. Their sorrow turned to joy, their despair to hope. They could hardly believe their eyes. He brought them comfort and hope. He reassured them that he had conquered death and that they had nothing to fear. He gave them a mission to share the good news of his resurrection. They were to spread the message of love, forgiveness, and eternal life. He promised to be with them always. His presence would guide and support them in their mission. After 40 days, Jesus ascended into heaven. His disciples watched in awe as he rose into the sky, knowing that he would always be with them in spirit. He sits at the right hand of God. He intercedes for us, offering us grace and mercy. His resurrection is a promise of new life and eternal hope for all who believe.